In January 2005, NASA launched a unique probe into space. Its mission was to find out where the water came from on Earth. After traveling 270 million kilometers, this probe called Deep Impact reached a crater, and in this crater were hidden many secrets that were being searched for the past several centuries. Once again, the viewers were delighted with the videos of past empires. There is only one place in the entire universe where human beings can survive. It seems as if Earth was made for humans. Here are all the things that are considered very important for life: water, food, and oxygen. Whether there is any other planet in such a vast and joint universe or not, but currently we only know of Earth, where humans can survive without any help. But 5 billion years ago, Earth did not exist. The place where Earth and our solar system are located today is the edge of the Milky Way galaxy. When our planet was not there, there used to be a cloud filled only with dust and gases. What happened to this cloud that turned it into a planet? The same planet where we live today. This cloud of dust and gases is called a molecular cloud. There were dust particles in this void, which also included particles of sand, silicon, and various metals. This cloud was born due to various dead stars. At the beginning of the universe, the stars that burned all their fuel exploded, and due to the explosion, their particles spread throughout the universe. This is not like the cloud seen in the sky, but it looks like something that was captured with the help of the Hubble Space Telescope. Surprisingly, this cloud was as big as 100 light years, meaning that if any light starts traveling from one corner of it, it will take 6 million years to reach the other corner of the molecular cloud. In simple terms, this dust cloud is 6 million times bigger than the distance between the Sun and Earth. This is the cloud from which new stars are born, and planets are formed, and the force that creates stars and planets from this cloud is gravity. Yes, not the same gravity that would exist in space, but it is generated. In space, two objects connect with each other due to their own gravity or attract each other. The object whose mass is greater will also have greater gravity. The particles of the molecular cloud connected with each other due to this gravity. The larger particles started attracting the smaller particles. These particles started colliding with each other very quickly, and due to this, energy was generated which heated the core of the rotating cloud and its center. For the next millions of years, this process continued like this, and the core of the molecular cloud also got bigger, started spinning faster, and got hotter, and after a while this huge fireball became our sun. The remaining molecular cloud now started revolving around this sun. The particles and gases in it are the planets of the system will have life, and the moons revolving around these planets, but how it will end up was a mystery, but it is no longer. A hypothesis about the formation of stars, that is, the sun, from molecular clouds was first presented in 1700 by the German philosopher M. Immanuel Kant and the French scholar Pierre Simon, but at that time it was just an idea. Then between 1920 and 1950, when telescopes became quite advanced, astronomers saw with their own eyes many such dust clouds in space in which new stars are born, but it was not possible to see inside these clouds with the help of telescopes. Then between 1970 and 1980, the inventions of radio and infrared telescopes solved this problem. Now it has become possible to see inside these clouds of dust and gases. Astronomers saw new stars forming inside molecular clouds with the help of infrared telescopes, which proved that new stars are born inside these clouds. Stars are born within molecular clouds, and the particles left behind by the cloud later form into planets. And how does this process begin? First, many ideas were floated about it, but then in March 2003, an experiment was conducted on the International Space Station in Mars 3 that answered this age-old question. Astronauts Don Pettit wanted to experiment with different things on the ISS to see how these things behave in space. They made water bubbles and put dissolving tablets inside them, made colored water bubbles, and put salt in a plastic bag and spin it. The purpose of these experiments was something else, but their final experiment answered the age-old question. When salt was put in a plastic bag, after a while the salt particles stuck together, because in space these particles attract each other. Scientists believe that the small and large particles inside the molecular cloud that were all revolving around the sun in the same direction got stuck together like this salt in the atmosphere, and from here the planets were formed. The process began about 4.5 billion years ago in the molecular cloud. In a similar way, particles began to form a cluster, just like the salt particles in Don Pettit's experiment. When the size of this cluster became 1 kilometer, that is, the size of a mountain, its own gravity became so great that it began to attract the nearby particles towards itself, just like a vacuum cleaner sucks up dirt. This process continued for the next 3 million years, and 20 planets emerged from the cluster of particles, all of which were orbiting the Sun. Now, because these 20 planets had become quite large, their own gravity began to attract each other during their orbits, and finally their orbits began to collide. In each collision, two planets collided together to form a large planet. Over time, due to these collisions, the solar system, where previously there were 20 planets, now only a few planets remain, including Venus, Mercury, Mars, and our Earth. But this Earth was not so blue and full of life at that time, but it was very hot like a firestorm due to collisions. Astronomers believe that it took Earth about 30 million years to reach this point. At that time, the temperature of the Earth was close to 5000 degrees Celsius. That is, if any living organism were to live here at this point, it would run away and disappear in less than a second. Traces of life on Earth will only emerge when its temperature drops, but as long as it was cold, it still had to face the biggest threat to its existence, the solar storm. Yes, whenever the rays emanating from the Sun enter a planet, they cause a lot of damage to its atmosphere. These solar storms also come to other planets, and due to this, it is not possible for life to grow here. There is no need to go far. No, Mars, which is the neighboring planet of Ankh, has destroyed the chances of life there. But the secret of how Earth coped with these 16 reactors is hidden. When the Earth's core started to collapse in the molecular cloud, its temperature increased significantly. This temperature turned the Earth into a fireball. The rocks melted and the iron and nickel present in them also melted. Now, because the weight of iron and nickel is quite high, they started falling into the Earth's core. Geophysicists believe that whenever molten iron is rotated, it creates a magnetic field around itself. Now, because the quantity of molten iron is high in the Earth's core, it generates a magnetic field. And the extent to which this magnetic field affects space is called the magnetosphere. Normally, this magnetic field extends for 300,000 kilometers on the side of the Earth that faces the Sun, that is approximately as far as the Moon is, and on the side that is not facing the Sun, the Earth's magnetic field extends for millions of kilometers. This is why the magnetic field stops the radiation coming from the Sun. This magnetic field is less at the north and south poles, so here this radiation enters the atmosphere and mixes with particles. Aurora produces the effect that we also call the northern and southern lights, but these radiations are so low that they do not cause any harm. The new Earth, which has coped with solar storms, was still not perfect for life. The Earth had to go through another difficult phase, a planetary collision. How did we humans find out about this? We have to go back to 1960. The United States planned several Apollo missions and sent astronauts to the Moon for research. Earlier, it was believed that the Moon was a piece of the Earth that separated from the Earth for some reason. But when the astronauts went to the Moon and brought back some samples of rocks, these rocks did not look like the rocks found on Earth. It seems that these rocks have been burned. Further investigation revealed that the oxygen isotopes present in the rocks of the Moon and Earth are the same, which proves that the Moon was originally a part of the Earth, but excessive heating caused it to form. What is this situation? Only one thing can cause such high temperatures, and that is the collision of another planet. When the Earth was slowly cooling down, at that time another planet started moving towards the Earth. This planet was about the size of Mars and it was named Dahlia. When Dahlia hit the Earth, a lot of energy was released. The moving pieces of the Earth and Dahlia spread into the sky and finally started orbiting the Earth. While orbiting the Earth, these pieces continued to connect with each other for the next thousands of years in the same way that particles in a molecular cloud were connected, and thus the Moon was born. The first Moon was very close to the Earth. Experts say that the Moon we see now was 15 times larger than it was before, but it is slowly moving away from the Earth at about 1.5 inches in air. Let us tell you here that Dahia's horrific collision with the Earth and the birth of the Moon were the two events that caused the current we exist in this world. Scientists believe that if these two events had not happened, then perhaps life would never have existed on Earth. But how did it happen? When a planet the size of Mars hit Earth, it tilted the Earth to one side. The Earth, which was previously rotating on its axis, is now tilted at an angle of 23.5 degrees. This tilt has given the Earth different types of seasons. As you know, one full rotation of the Earth represents one day, and one full orbit around the Sun represents 1 year. Now, because the Earth is tilted at 23.5 degrees, those months of the year when the northern hemisphere is closer to the Sun are the summer season, and in winter, this part is further away from the Sun. Due to this tilt, the Earth's surface does not experience the same heat or cold throughout the year. Due to these changing seasons, we get to eat different fruits and vegetables. Different colors can be seen throughout the year. And due to the monsoon rain cycle, clean drinking water is available through rivers. In addition, due to the formation of the moon, ocean waves are also formed. These waves provide nutrients for marine creatures because if these waves were not there, the nutrients in the ocean would only be present in a few places. But here the question arises that ocean waves will only be formed when there is water on Earth, which is the most important for life. Then where did the water come from on Earth? This has been the biggest mystery for the scientific community. In January 2005, NASA launched a probe called TAP Impact in space. It was sent to a comet called Tempel 1, 270 million kilometers away. A 350 kilogram impactor was placed in front of this probe, which was supposed to collide with Tempel 1. On July 4, 2005, this impactor collided with Tempel 1 comet at a speed of 38 kilometers per hour and created a huge crater. This impactor was called Deep Impact Probe. It was captured with the help of radio telescopes, and what this telescope showed was truly astonishing. The light emitted due to the collision was analyzed with the help of refraction spectroscopy. After analyzing it with the help of spectroscopy, it was found that the ice form inside Tempel 1 was filled with water. Now it has been proven that there is water inside the asteroid belt, far away from the Sun. But how did these comets leave their orbit and reach Earth, and that too in the millions? Experts believe that only the largest planet in our solar system, Jupiter, can do this. Yes, Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system, and obviously its gravity is many times greater than Earth's. And its special thing is that it flies very close to the asteroid belt. Astronomers believe that in the past, all the large size comets and asteroids that were in the asteroid belt had their normal orbits converted into elliptical orbits by Jupiter's gravity. A normal circular orbit is when an asteroid circles the Sun in a perfect circle. But when Jupiter's gravity attracted them, they left their circular orbit and went into an oval-shaped orbit, which is called an elliptical orbit. At the same time, when they came in the path of Earth, gravity pulled them to Earth. Geologists believe that water was not on Earth in the beginning, but it came here 500 million years after the Earth was formed. But how did we know this? Sar is a mineral that is found in rocks and water is very important for its formation. And because it also contains uranium particles, its age can be determined with the help of radioactive tracers. The age of all the zircon samples on Earth that have been extracted so far shows that they were formed 4 billion years ago, that is 500 million years after the Earth was formed. The birth of Earth from a molecular cloud. The collision of a large asteroid the size of Mars. The tilt of the Earth and the cause of the Moon. Waves are created in the ocean. Millions of kilometers away, Jupiter is the source of water for Earth. The effects of life seem to be improving. Even the temperature of Earth had dropped significantly to about 100 degrees Celsius. But the most important thing for life was still not on Earth, oxygen. So now you tell me in the comment section how oxygen came to Earth's atmosphere. I hope you will like and share this video of past empires. Thank you very much for your loving comments. I will see you in the next wonderful video.